Hello YouTube, the Devil's Advocate here. This time I want to talk about people who persecute or look for reasons to persecute other innocent people for the sake of basically persecuting them, labeling people, incorrectly, criminalizing innocent people, false accusations, the usual thing. When I was growing up, it was very common for the older generation to say things like, you may have heard it yourself, there's no smoke without fire, stereotyping people, labeling people as being a bad un. That guy's a bad un. You can tell. They've got certain physical traits such as, shifty eyes, funny eyebrows. Anybody that who has eyebrows that meet in the middle, you can't trust them. That sort of thing, basically excuses to persecute and harass and criminalize innocent people for no damn reason, other than for the self gratification of harassing an innocent person. And the usual excuses are, that person, it's got shifty eyes. That person has got funny eyebrows. Even people with a certain surname. For instance, I heard things like, anybody whose surname is Pence, you can't trust them, or that sort of thing, But the biggest problem is, the biggest one I heard was no smoke without fire. In other words, what that basically means is that I think that person over there is guilty, regardless of any proof that proves otherwise. And the worst story I heard, the saddest story I heard, was an Iranian guy who was living in Bristol. He was having a lot of trouble with teenagers, vandalizing his. He used to have plant pots outside his house, outside his front door, but that he was proud of. They were vandalizing his plants virtually every night. And they harassed him for months and months and months, just wouldn't leave the guy alone. So I decided to do something about it. So I took some photographs of the perpetrators. Somebody saw him taking the photographs of the youths and reported him to the police as being a paedophile, taking photos of kids. Of course, the police took action, arrested him, confiscated his camera, his computer, examined everything, found nothing on his computer. Examined the photographs that he did take, that he admitted to, and they were perfectly innocent. They were pictures of people vandalizing his home. And so the police dropped the case against him, and decided to help him by investigating the vandalism. However, the police, of course, notified the community that he wasn't a paedophile, that he wasn't on the investigation any further, they weren't taking any further. However, a few members of the community still had it in for him, and still formed a lynch mob or whatever, how to get him, because the old no smoke without fire malarkey, posse, whatever. Whilst he was out walking, two guys jumped him, beat him to within an inch of his life, weren't satisfied with that. Whilst he was lying there unconscious, poured a and accelerant over him, probably petrol, set fire to him, killed him. These two guys were caught, sent down, and sadly enough, the guy lost his life purely because of the lynch mob mentality and people pointing the finger, still saying that he was guilty when he was proved innocent. The old no smoke without fire. But you and I know what it all boils down to, which is it wasn't anything to do with him being a paedophile or people thinking that's guilty of being a paedophile or whatever. He just didn't belong. He didn't fit. He was a foreigner. Simple as. And he's just looking for an excuse. That's what people do. The two perpetrators, the two murderers, were sent down. But the third person, the person who falsely reported him as being the paedophile, is still at large. Is still hiding under the rock that they live under. The coward who can't come forward to confess what they've done. And that's what people who point finger of blame at innocent people do. They do it for a laugh. They do it to cover their own guilt, their own sins. I've had it done to me. People pointing finger of guilt at me, and it always turns out I prove myself innocent every single time, and it always turns out that the person pointing the finger is actually the guilty one. Another story, at my local supermarket, a member of staff, an older woman, left her job before she was fired because she was caught stealing money out of the tills. This same woman, from what I understand, pointed the finger of blame at a young lad who got fired from his job. And then later turns out that it was her that was doing the stealing. Yes. Typical scenario. Typical hate, typical human hatred of one another and persecuting innocent people. But yet again, it is the older generation that propagate this. It is a sad situation, but the human race is screwed. We are born to hate one another, and we look for excuses to hate and persecute and torment people and harass people for the simple reason of entertainment. I'm gonna ruin somebody's life because it gives me a laugh. Have had it done to me on countless occasions. And I don't know how I've not cracked up yet, but I suppose I'm just a little bit stronger than the next person. Anyway, Devil's Advocate, signing off. Please like, subscribe and share. Have a nice day.